Hey YouTube, it's Maya coming at you with the 16 random questions tag. I was tagged by Christy J and Snape HBP, so thank you so much ladies for the tag. And I'm excited to do this video for you, so let's get started. So question number 1 is, how did you get your YouTube username? So that's really simple. I absolutely love purses, so anything that has to do with handbags or purses, namely Louis Vuitton and Chanel and Coach and a few others mixed in there. So I thought of Purse Diva and it just stuck. It made perfect sense to me, so that is my name. Question number 2, if you could change your name to anything, what would it be and why? I never really wanted to change my name. I was just kind of like given other names. And my name is Maya, and just people all the time, they call me Maria, Mia, Maya. So I'm just used to that. And so for me, I never really wanted to change my name. I guess when I was younger, maybe when I was like in elementary school or something, there was a girl named Stephanie and I liked her a lot and I thought that would be a cool name, but it didn't linger with me. I just like my name, I guess, and I just have so many other nicknames just because people mess it up all the time. So no, don't really need to change my name. Okay, if you could go back in time and give your younger self advice, what would it be? This is a great question. I got married young. I am still married to my husband of almost 20 years. It'll be 20 years next year. And I would say to my younger self, take a little bit more time to get to know yourself before going into a marriage. We struggled a little bit early on in our marriage because we were still trying to get to know, ourselves before getting to know each other, or I guess at the same time. And that was a struggle. Plus we had a daughter. And, I just feel like I would have been a little bit more comfortable in our relationship early on had I taken more time to get to know myself. Obviously, I'm a very different person than when I got married. I was 19, so I would say slow down, just get to know yourself a little bit better, and also don't be so stressed out or take everything so seriously. It's okay to relax a little bit and just enjoy. So those are the 2 things that I would definitely tell my younger self. How old were you when you first learned to blow a bubblegum bubble? Okay, I would say probably around the age of 7 or 8. I think I remember doing like a bubblegum blowing contest with some of my friends in the neighborhood, and yeah, so somewhere around 7 or 8, and I just remember like having bubblegum like all over my nose and my chin because it just blew up in my face. So yeah, 7 or 8. Let's see. What did you do? What did you want to be when you grew up? So I went into the dental field. Actually started that through high school. There was a vocational program through my high school, so the last 2 years of school I didn't just have full classes. I actually had like a lab, and I went to a different school for this, and that was never really my dream. I never thought, oh, I want to be a dental assistant, but I really enjoyed it, and I did that for 20 years. And I think what I remember the most when I was younger was I wanted to be a lawyer, and I liked the idea that they dress nice, they worked in an office. Honestly, I think I watched too many episodes of LA Law. Some of you will remember that show. And that was probably the first thing I remember wanting to be. So obviously that did not work out. And that's okay, because today I know I would not want to be a lawyer. There's just a little bit of negativity that comes with that job, and it's a lot of time in school and a lot of debt unless you're, able to just write a check for college. So that is what I remember wanting to be when I was a kid. Let's see. So what do you order at Starbucks? Okay, so my favorite drink there is a venti iced green tea sweetened, and I asked for extra sweetened because they only put like 3 or 4 pumps in it and it's just not sweet enough. So that's my favorite drink. I get that almost every time I go to Starbucks. It's good for you. It's refreshing. Sometimes I'll get the black tea. So I know that's kind of boring. I know a lot of people go with like frappuccinos and those great lattes and all of that, and they order for like 20 minutes because their drink needs to be like non-fat, whipped and shaken, and I don't know what else. But occasionally, like during the holidays, I do like their eggnog and gingerbread lattes. So so yeah, I will get those, but typically it's the green tea for me. Okay, let's see. What's the hardest you ever laughed? Well, I was a very silly kid. I was a very rambunctious kid. I was the youngest. I am the youngest of my siblings, and I think I just wanted a lot of attention. So I just remember always laughing when I was a kid. I remember always just like almost pee my pants laughing about things that probably weren't even funny. I was probably a little obnoxious, especially to my siblings, maybe even to my parents. But I would say, gosh, the one thing that comes to mind is just being with one of my best friends when I was in like middle school. And we were just up all night giggling and talking about boys and who knows what else. But I just remember having that, you know, memory with one of my best friends, and I'm still friends with them today. So that would be it. And of course I want to throw in movies make me laugh. I am a diehard like comedy fan. I like all kinds of movies. Scary movies and comedies are probably the two for me, the top two. So like Bridesmaids and oh, they're eluding me now. Well, I guess any of like the American Pie movies, any of those movies, yeah, they make me laugh. Movies are usually good ones to make me laugh. So love movies to get a good laugh. And one more thing, I have been watching The People's Couch, which is a TV show, and it's based on, they're like 5 or 6 different groups of people. There's like a family with 2 teenage boys, and then there's like a group of women. They're like the Golden Girls. They're probably in their like 70s. And then there's like a couple of sisters, and then there's a gay girl with her best friend, and there's there's another family with a son who's like a late teens. I think that's how old he is. Anyway, there's all these different demographics. So there's black, white, it's like a mixture of different ages, groups, and everything. And they watch different TV shows that are relevant, like Scandal or How to Get Away with Murder or The Real Housewives. And they critique the show while they're watching it, and then you're watching the show of them watching it, and it's hilarious, like pee my pants hilarious. So that would probably be the most recent that I've really had a good laugh. So anyway, enough about that subject, but check out People's Couch. Okay, if you could play any musical instrument, what would it be? Okay, so I played the flute for 6 years through school, and then I switched to the oboe when I was in high school, and I only played oboe for like a year. It's really difficult if you're an instrumentist or if you are a musician, then you know that switching from a wind to a reed instrument is extremely difficult. And so I only did that for about a year. And prior to the flute, I actually played the cello, but I hated carrying that thing on the school bus. So that's why I went to the lightest, smallest instrument, which was the flute. And so music was a big part of my life. My father's a jazz musician. He's a jazz piano player. And so I didn't really have a choice. I was going to be playing some sort of instrument in school. So anyway, that's what I did. Okay, so what's your favorite thing to do when you're upset? Probably shop. That always cheers me up, of course. And then maybe watch a movie. And depending on who I'm upset with, it's to spend time with my husband or my son, or get on YouTube and watch YouTube videos. That's always very delightful. What's your favorite movie? Oh, that's hard. There's just so many that I don't know that I can narrow it down to one. So I'll give you my top 3. So my very first favorite probably would have to be The Notebook. Absolutely romantic. Just the cast was amazing. Rachel McAdams, Ryan Gosling. It was fantastic. Probably one of my favorite movies. And then I'm a huge John Hughes fan. I was born in '76. I grew up in the '80s. So Ferris Bueller's Day Off, The Breakfast Club, 16 Candles, St. Elmo's Fire. There's so many to choose from, but for sure Ferris Bueller's Day Off and probably The Breakfast Club. So those are my top 3. And of course I love Bridesmaids, and there's so many, but those are my top 3. Okay, so what favorite pizza topping? Oh, I'm sorry. What one food you cannot live without? Chinese food. Cannot live without Chinese food. Love Chinese food. Favorite pizza topping? I don't just have one. So for me, and I think Snape HBP, she also liked her pizza this way. So it's mushrooms, green peppers, and pepperoni or sausage. One of the 2 of those. What would you rather have, the superpower to read minds or be invisible? Okay, for sure be invisible. I know everybody is picking that because nobody wants to read minds. I think the only time I'd love to read minds is like maybe like to win the lottery and guess, you know, that's not even going to work because they don't randomly pick the numbers. Or they randomly pick the numbers, they don't know them. Yeah, it's got to be invisible because there's so many things that you could do. You could sneak into the White House. I mean, that would be really cool. And you could sneak into a bank, but then the money's not invisible, so you can't take it. But, you know, it's definitely going to be invisible. Then I could sneak into my son's room and know exactly what he's doing. Ooh, that's good. That's good. Okay, so what did you do for your last birthday? Well, my birthday was last month, and I had a really good friend of mine come here into town to see me, and we went to dinner with my family, and then we went to the Madonna concert. So that was fantastic. Had a great birthday. And if you had one personal selfish wish, what would it be and why? Ooh. Okay. That's a tough one. You know what? I think, and this might surprise some of you, but my one selfish wish would be to eat, pray, love. I would love to relive that journey that Julia Roberts did in the movie based on Elizabeth Gilbert. I think her name is Elizabeth Gilbert, based on her life. So obviously that would entail me leaving my family, which is my 2 children who are old enough for me to leave them, and my husband for like a year, but that would be an amazing thing to do. That would be such an amazing journey. So that would be my one selfish wish, I think. It'd be like to go to Africa on a safari and to, you know, go to Europe and travel and to Bali and go into India and, you know, Greece or wherever I wanted to for a year and just eat, pray, and then come back home to my love. So there you go. And the last question is, who is your style inspiration? So I've seen this question on a few different, or I've seen this answer on a few different tags. And I think we're all kind of in agreement, or most of us are in agreement that, you know, we just kind of get style inspiration based on people that we see. Maybe it's in a magazine, maybe it's, you know, out in the public every day. That tends to be most of my inspiration. TV commercials. I don't have just one person that I follow or one style that I even wear or follow. I'm kind of all over the place. So for me, it's just a matter of what looks good on me and what somebody else might interpret as style, maybe something that I can agree with, but maybe it's not. So there's no real right or wrong answer to this question. I think for me it's just a matter of what I really enjoy wearing, that makes me feel good, that I look good in. And so I guess right now I'm all about scarves because it's the season for scarves. It's the season for, you know, like jeans and boots and sweaters, and so that is my style inspiration. So maybe the true answer to this is the season. The season is my style inspiration because it's what inspires me to choose what style I'm gonna wear. So there you go, guys. That is all the questions, and I hope you enjoyed hearing what I had to say, and please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe to my channel, and all my follow information is going to be below, so check that out, and I will see you next time. Have a great night.